Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PIPCAST 3000, episode 127. I'm Caedo Genesis, joined by my co-host BADCompanySarge.
I've got a cold.
And he has a cold. And this is a bi-weekly podcast where we talk about gaming news and gaming in general, and usually have a dedicated Bethesda-centric something topic. This time, it's another TheGamer list. I know you guys love them. We love them because it's minimal work.
Yeah.
And Sarge is sick, so that's my excuse for giving him a break and me as well, so we don't have to carry the whole show. The Gamer will do it for us.
Yeah, thanks, TheGamer.
Thanks, TheGamer, for making weirdly opinioned articles for us to make fun of. I think I said it's a bi-weekly podcast every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific.
You did.
Did I do that? I did say
Uh,
that. I said it again, just in case.
The jumping off point would have been, and who else we need to thank are Wasteland legends Sven and Rose.
Thank you, Sarge. You were on top of it this time. Thank you, Sven and Rose. You have been Wasteland Legends for a long time, and I greatly appreciate your support as well as all of my other patrons. And we do this at the beginning because I forget at the end nearly every time. But I'm getting better at it. The B-roll is going to be Starfield or Kenshi if you're watching whatever is happening on the screen. I haven't really decided. I ran into a really fun frame rate issue after recording about 45 minutes in with Starfield. So I'm going to restart that later. Yeah, Starfield still got issues. Let's get into the comment of the cast. Last episode we talked about... What did we talk about? I don't remember what we talked about.
Lore. Is it important?
Yes, that's right. That was our sleepy episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where we ran with the topic for a little bit. We said, nah, scrap it. And then Sarge simplified it for both of us.
Yep.
We talked about whether lore is important, especially when it comes to the enjoyment of like an open world game kind of thing. And would you read the comments from Imaginary Blue?
Yep, they say, the way I look at it is lore's the opposite of story. Story tries to tell you how to feel, while lore is more of a suggestion. I feel like story is the least important thing in a game, and mechanics are the most important. Lore fixes that by allowing you to deep dive into what's really going on.
That's a pretty good southern accent, Sarge.
I had to do it because they've actually put lower instead of lore at a couple of points, but doing that accent, you can't really tell.
It helps, I think. Yeah. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I do agree as well that, like, games and mechanics of the game are the most important thing. I've been moaned at before for being like, hey, I don't want to sit through 15 minutes of cutscenes before I get into the gameplay. Because I need to enjoy the gameplay and have that be good before I'm willing to dedicate myself to a story. If I'm not enjoying the actual playing of the game, doesn't matter what the story's like, I just watch a good movie instead. And lore's like that extra bit on top of story. The story's got to be good. If the story's good and you get really immersed in the world, then maybe you want to go into the lore extra. The lore's dessert. You don't need it, but it's nice to have sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Story tries to tell you how to feel, while lore is more of a suggestion. Yeah, I do think I agree with that, because the Fallout lore as a whole doesn't necessarily, decide how the story of, say, Fallout 3 is going to go.
Nope.
It's like, it's a much simpler concept. It's like, where's my dad? We got to go find my dad. And then it expands on from there, while pulling from various aspects of Fallout as you go, and then giving you that little extra bit of lore while you're following the story. So I think I agree with this. And also, yes, gameplay. Is the gameplay fun? That is very important, because we're playing video games. So, it's in the name, game. The description has something to do with fun, I think. I'm pretty sure. I mean,
you say that. I can immediately in my mind, I've got several comments of people popping up who have been annoyed at me for making this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have someone in the comments being like, no, gameplay doesn't matter, story matters. Like, for some people, this is a real big deal.
Well, if you're going along with a narrative experience, like it's a much more narrative focused game, and the story itself grips you, like there is the movie watching argument, obviously, but there's some that make it a bit more of an interactive medium than you would get out of a movie or something like that. What's the name of one of the ones I covered on my Games for Fallout fans? I don't remember. Paradise Lost. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Paradise Lost is a post-apoc game that I covered in my Games for Fallout fans. Shout out to me. Good job, me. The thing about Paradise Lost, though, is it's very much a first-person kind of just go along with the story and, you know, explore a couple interactables on your way, but it's primarily meant to be just a way of sharing this cool story about this massive underground bunker that's still producing nukes, and you're learning about why, and you know, expanding like your own character's history kind of as you go too, because you're like a kid exploring this, and like all of those things like kind of put together is just like, oh, this is a very interesting premise, I wonder where it's going. That's enough of a hook sometimes to actually bring you into the game, but it needs to let you know that at the very beginning, and Paradise Lost does do that. I think that's an important aspect too, is like you need to know that kind of going in if it's going to be like super narrative focused or story focused, because not all games convey the same, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Let's get into the news, Sarge.
News.
There was a Xbox partner preview event. It showed a lot of games. It seems like Microsoft was like, hey, Sony's showing off a lot of exclusives and they're kind of knocking it out of the park. We need to show some exclusives. Please show some exclusives. So that's what I imagine the internal monologue is for Microsoft. So anyway, the partner showcase showed quite a few IPs that are just new.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
I would like to go down the list now.
Okay.
Just of all the things that were shown, makes it easier. Unknown 9 Awakening, Sleight of Hand, The Altars, Creatures of Ava, a Roblox Griefville X Chucky, The Sinking City, Final Fantasy XIV, Stalker Original Trilogy, that's a big one, Monster Jam Showdown, Persona 3 Reload Expansion Pass, The First Berserker Kazan, Tales of Kenzera Zao, Frostpunk 2, and Kinitsugami Path of the Goddess. Okay, so some of those might sound like, you know, something that you know, like Stalker Original Trilogy. That was kind of a big surprise because it had not gone anywhere besides been on PC for well over a decade. And now I think it got shadow dropped, like it is available.
Yeah, I saw people like posting like, oh, it's so weird to play Stalker on the Xbox.
Because I think the game itself was showing off a radial menu too for like selecting items and stuff, and that's new. That's not, you know, I don't think that's innately in the PC version. But also, one of the games that interested me that was shown here, and we'll have this linked in the description if you want to check out the games that were shown, like that's all it is too, by the way. Like it's just all of these games being shown in like a 30-minute block.
Yeah.
So and it's chapter pointed and stuff like that. But The Altars is one that got my attention because it's a very interesting take on the like side view, kind of taking a little bit from Fallout Shelter, kind of like side view bunker type of thing, but you're on a giant wheel. It's a giant vehicle that you're on, and you are trying to outrun the sun on this hostile planet that you're on. But unfortunately, you're the only person there, and you don't have the expertise to keep the vehicle running. So the whole cool premise of this one is there's a unique MacGuffin resource on this planet that can allow you to clone yourself, but clone yourself as if you made a different choice in your lifetime. So your craft is staffed by a whole bunch of U's, but they're all different life path U's that are like skilled in, gardening, chemistry, engineering, like all that kind of stuff. And that's how you're able to like survive throughout this thing. Like, really cool premise.
Yeah.
But like that one got my attention, as well as the first couple, like Unknown 9, which like initially had some I don't know, Assassin's Creed vibes, but then you're like, oh, you're yanking bodies out of, or yanking ghosts out of people, and also controlling their souls to make them attack each other, and you're like, okay, this might be a little more than that.
That is what I'm curious to see more of, because I'm not actually sure what the gameplay is going to be like in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that one showed like some very much engineered gameplay. So like we don't know per se. And then there was Sleight of Hand, which is all CG, but playing a stealth game as a witch who has like magic cards that do different effects to your foes and stuff like that. Kind of cool. I like me a stealth game. Call me MGS fan. Creatures of Ava. It's another kind of almost Pokemon like. It looks a lot more cozy than your standard Pokemon fare. I thought that one was kind of interesting, like Pokemon Snap / puzzler.
I mean, I'm fairly aware of this because I think Rihanna Pratchett is like the lead writer or something. I've followed her for a while. So I've seen lots of stuff about this. A lot of the Tomb Raider games, a lot of the modern Tomb Raider, she wrote in a lot of those. She's wrote in a lot of stuff.
Wow, what a weird juxtaposition. Brutal Tomb Raider to cozy creature game. She did Overlord. I wasn't aware of that one. Oh, that was a fun game.
And Surgeon Simulator 2. She's got a real weird mix.
That's a hilarious game.
Yeah. She was also a writer for BioShock Infinite and Burial at Sea.
Wow. Yeah, that's a wide range of...
Immediately before that, CSI: Fatal Conspiracy.
Okay.
She was Mirror's Edge, Prince of Persia, a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, she did Beyond Divinity, which is a Larian Studios one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's worked on a bunch of different stuff.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, there's those, and there's quite a bit of other stuff that was shown. Also, just getting a look at what the Stalker trilogy looks like. Final Fantasy 14, coming
that
to
game's
Xbox,
already out, right?
I guess it is already out, but to Xbox Series X and S. Like some of these were like, finally PlayStation's sharing some of their things with us. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do recommend checking it out and adding more stuff to your probably ever-growing wish list on Steam or whatever you have. Speaking of things that are made by people,
cool,
that are consumed,
I'm not sure where we're going. Let's keep it going.
Okay, well, Red versus Blue and Ruby were consumed by people and still exist, but Rooster Teeth doesn't.
Cool. I was not sure if we were transitioning to a new topic or a different game or what was going on there.
I'm sorry. A bit of a bittersweet one here. Rooster Teeth was not doing very good over the last quite a few years. If you watch Red versus Blue, part of the old guard, who enjoyed them in the early 2000s, or watched it when Ruby was kicking off, or Ruby in general, or got into Genlock, which has a lot of memes around it. Yeah, the Rooster Teeth proper. Oh, and Funhouse too.
Yep.
Rooster Teeth proper just shut down.
Yeah.
So yeah, 150 employees losing their jobs. Some of us already kind of saw the writing on the wall. A lot of the original people that helped to found Rooster Teeth just dipped
Yep.
or had legal issues, or just a myriad of
There was so much stuff.
things that happened. And also on the staff side, like there were some staffers that worked at Rooster Teeth proper. I remember Funhouse being positively viewed, at least by like Alana Pierce and stuff like that. But on the flip side, Rooster Teeth, like working in the office for some people was like actually hell for them.
Yeah, there was a lot of negative reports and press around it, pretty much all the time for several years, I feel like.
Yeah. So that's why I say bittersweet. I unfortunately a lot of the negatives kind of got to me, and I ended up kind of getting rid of my Red versus Blue collection because I couldn't not associate with the things that I learned about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of chucked that. And also, I enjoyed Ruby at the very beginning when Monty Ohm was still alive. You know, the original creator, but he died like I think 2 seasons in, something like that, and then they just kind of took it and ran with it. And I'm like, I don't care anymore. So
I feel like I was on a bit of a similar thing where I got about 2 seasons into Ruby. I think I watched like a dozen seasons of Red vs. Blue, and like I appreciate season 10 to 12, I want to say, for what it was, the more CGI backstory heavy ones. They were different.
Where Monty was involved also.
Yeah, they were quite different from the original, but still quite good. They went much more action-y rather than the more comedy focus, but after that point it just seemed to start going in weird random directions. And I used to watch a lot of Rooster Teeth stuff, and I did just slowly phase out over time. And I went with Funhouse because I watched the guys at Inside Gaming, who then became Funhouse when Machinima got rid of it all. And then people started leaving Funhouse, and then more people left Funhouse, and then I was like, oh, Funhouse isn't that good anymore. But I stopped watching them as well as Rooster Teeth, so I was completely out of this. Like, I want to say, a few years ago, I probably stopped watching both entirely, maybe? Or maybe a couple of years ago. Time around the early 2020s was very confusing.
Yeah, there was just a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of things, too, that we enjoyed happened around that time.
Yeah. I feel like it's the same for many of us, where a lot of us enjoyed Rooster Teeth and different aspects of it at points, but we've slowly been drifting away for years now, which has got to have been a decline in popularity. I did, when this was announced, I went and watched the Funhouse live stream where they were like, hey, we don't actually know much of what's going on. We're going to try and make some stuff before we'll let go. And that was most of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I think the very first thing they did as well was tell everyone to like stop doing memberships and stuff and just grab whatever perks they'd pay for as soon as possible. Just like bit of a panic to it.
Yeah, because the people they're paying too for like subscriptions and stuff like that, they just get screwed.
Yeah,
like they especially if you got like, dude, it's the beginning of the year, so if they had like a year subscription and it rolled over to this year, and then WB shuts them down, they're just like, well, what the. Where my money?
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
This kind of sucks all around. Yeah. So, I hope for the best for those who did get laid off. Like, they hope that they find other things that they can do within that sphere, at least, or if they're not, mentally destroyed already by the situation. Could be a relief for some. I don't know. I don't know anybody who works at Rooster Teeth, so I'm just kind of grasping at this point.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what else could be bittersweet?
You know what tastes bittersweet? An ice-cold Nuka-Cola, because maybe it's bitter as well as sweet.
Yeah! Perfect segue. I did not edit that.
Yeah. We got a Fallout official trailer, which I haven't actually watched yet, because I'm not a real Fallout fan, Caedo.
Oh no!
You should know this. I'm a fake Fallout fan. I'm a poser.
Oh. We're 127 episodes in and you tell me now?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Dang
dude.
it. You were faking the whole time?
I was. I've never actually played a Fallout game.
I'm angry and impressed.
Ooh, I saw one nice little bit in the trailer, which I'm now watching for the first time, where a Gould bounty hunter guy like shoots a proper hole through a person and they get blasted back.
Oh, it's gonna be juicy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be messy. There's an Amazon
I
show
hope so. I hope.
where the boys were published.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for it being ultra violent.
Watching one of the things that we were kind of harping on the Borderlands trailer about was the uniforms of the Crimson Lance.
Yes.
Yeah, because they look like they were wearing red tights with like really basic plastic helmets.
Yeah.
Almost
Super cheap cosplay style of thing.
Yeah. So the benefit of the Brotherhood of Steel is they can just wear military fatigues a lot of the time and look fine.
Yep. I mean, I'm going to say right away, the vault suits are better than I was expecting. Because I feel like a vault suit, you could get away with a real cheap kind of terrible costume.
That's
but
true.
They've got some actual detail on them. They look like... They've still got like the form-fitting style, the coloring's all right, but they actually look a bit like they're hard-wearing. It's kind of impressive.
Yeah. I'll be real. I have gotten a little excited.
Oh no.
From what we were shown in the Fallout show trailer. Because nothing seems... Oh, the dude's missing his leg. Nothing seems glaringly, like, feels out of place. Like, I'm, like, even going frame by frame, like, it looks fine.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you say nothing seems out of place, but Caedo, they're using a Fallout 4 assault rifle design, which plenty of people hate, so it's garbage.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't forget that.
My bad. That's what breaks it for everyone. Is the Fallout 4 assault rifle. No, my immersion. Even though this is gonna be a fun mix, too. I say fun, but I don't know if a lot of people are gonna consider this fun. That this is going to be seemingly West Coast, but with a lot of Bethesda Fallout aesthetics. Yeah. So it's going to be a mix. We can expand into Jonathan Nolan, the director. Journalist sites, less scrupulous journalist sites, kind of ran with the rage bait take and what he actually said, because I think that's pretty important too. The one I linked here is by T3. I don't even really know of this site, so I might actually use yours, Sarge.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I don't like T3's website because they've got giant ads playing on the side.
Okay, like, cool. Yeah.
Two-thirds of the screen is adverts.
I'm glad you're telling me that because I have ad blocker on, so I don't see them.
Oh god, it's just constant. And the video's stretched as well, so it's like real pixely.
Oh, good.
Like, it's bad web design.
Cool. All right. So we'll go by the PC Gamer one because PC Gamer always is somehow better.
I really like PC Gamer.
I do too. Headline says, Amazon's Fallout TV director says he's not trying to please fans. Legions get mad at him before realizing he's actually lost a year of his life to Fallout 3 himself. This is still a little baity.
Yeah.
Because the full quote, I don't think you can really set out to please the fans of anything or please anyone other than yourself. And deliberately trying to make a Fallout TV series that would please fans of the game, said Nolan, would be a fool's errand. That's not really inaccurate, I would say. There's so many flavors of Fallout at this point that every fan's kind of ideal Fallout is probably different.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that later.
So somebody trying to please all of those fans, please everyone, you please no one. That's a quote from something. Like, don't do that.
With how much the Fallout games have changed, you cannot please everyone. And I think you said something about like Fallout fans don't agree with each other. There's There's a comment in this article as well, which says fans can't even agree on what would please them. Like, I'm always reminded of the announcement of 76, where before then so many people have been like, yeah, we'd love a Fallout multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Then a Fallout multiplayer game came out and people were like, no one asked for a Fallout multiplayer game.
We're speaking the same language, Sarge, because that's kind of where my head was at when I saw this too. I was like,
yeah.
Do you know Fallout fans? We all wanted this, and then we didn't, and then we did again.
I mean, the big problem is Fallout has millions of fans.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see like a dozen people saying the same thing, you're like, oh boy, this is what all Fallout fans want.
Yeah.
When you're getting like less than 1% of fans are making
presumptuous of me to say we wanted this, then didn't, then did. But that is what it feels like.
Some people didn't.
Yeah. So, I honestly think this is a lukewarm take that is blown out of proportion. Because it's like, I think he said something along the lines of the fans that we're trying to please are like we're all fans of Fallout, so we're making what we want to make.
There's a quote from him which is, I don't think you really can set out to please the fans of anything or please anyone other than yourself.
Which I think is the quote I read as well. But yes, that's, and I use an example in my Discord server because we were talking about a little bit that making something you want to make, especially as a fan project, and this is a big budget fan project, at least by the sounds of how he's talking. Nuka Break exists. That is a fan project made into a proper show. And I only hear, minus the issues that Wayside Productions had way later, embezzlement, blah, 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 by the director. But as initially, Nuka Break was really good. You go back and watch it without that context. It's a really good Fallout fan-made show. So imagine blowing up the budget on that, and maybe this is what we'll actually get. We only have like a month to go for the Fallout show, and then
I was streaming 2 days ago and was like, oh yeah, I don't know when the Fallout 4 remaster is going to come out, but I assume it's the same time as the show, which isn't coming out till like August, I think. And I was like, is that right? And someone told me, no, it's like a month away.
April 11th?
11th, yeah.
Yeah, it's it's not that far away. It's a month.
Yeah, much closer than I thought.
Mm-hmm. So I did get a little more excited just by seeing the trailer, because they do play I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire. And it gets you. I should say it gets me every single time. Mm-hmm. Because I'm immediately sent back to the first time I saw Fallout 3. Like, that song is forever burned into my brain as like first reveal Fallout 3, and I'm like, oh my god, I thought this was dead, but we get more, and now we're kind of flooded in Fallout things.
So much Fallout stuff,
including Magic the Gathering. Bleh. Anyway, I don't know if I had any other things to say. Like the thing that would be like a what's wrong with this kind of thing, I think that would be the most glaring would be the ghoul character's representation. Like if there was something up with his makeup or something like that wasn't quite right or a little too uncanny. But I'm not getting that vibe.
No, it looks fine so far.
Yeah, I think it looks fine.
He could look a bit more ghoulish, I'd say, is my only complaint on that. Mm-hmm. But it's a real mild complaint. That's not going to ruin the show for me.
Tell us in the comments, are you excited for the Fallout show, or are you all jaded because Fallout sucks now and has forever sucked forever? Interplay are the gods of Fallout forever, of all time. Black Isle, did Tim Kaine. I had to look through my freaking notifications. Timothy Kaine. Okay, yes. God. Can we move on?
Maybe. Do you want to say anything about Tim Kaine, or?
No, please segue, and I'll just pretend that I didn't say anything at all.
Okay, well, it really is the case that you do have to wait until something's out to know what it's going to be like, as was recently showcased with Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, which did not have a great launch.
Nope.
Yeah, but all I really knew about this was people were struggling to get into the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's apparently got a huge number of negative reviews, and it's mostly just about, like, people can't get into the game. Seems to be the big complaint still.
It's I wonder if it's people can't get into the mass multiplayer, the 64-player missions, as opposed to just playing on their own.
I mean, yeah,
or playing locally, like
no, yeah, that seems to be fine, but everyone's seemed to have picked it up for multiplayer. And there's a comment in this article that says, as of right now, the multiplayer, open bracket, otherwise known as the only reason to buy this product if you already own the original games, close bracket, is entirely unplayable.
So if you had the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 and then you picked it up just to do that, I can understand why you would I don't know, refund it immediately. Also wait for reviews like we were saying. I think I want to say I don't want to lie.
I'll lie, it's fine.
I want to say we were kind of on the fence, like when we talked about it last episode too, like wait until it's out to if it's as good as we hope it is.
It's always worth waiting a little bit. Like, you never need to get a game on launch day. Yeah.
Unless it's me and Final Fantasy VII. Everybody has their exceptions, Sarge.
I refute these exceptions.
Unless you're making content on a game and you have to start making content day one.
Yeah, the content thing nowadays is you've got to start making content before day one. Like, I was thinking of this for Dragon's Dogma 2, and there's already a bunch of Dragon's Dogma 2 videos out from people who get the game early. And it's like, well, even if I got it at day one, there'd already be like 100 different videos out before I'd even booted up the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to say even the content creator thing doesn't make sense unless you're being, like, given a code or something for early access.
I would have loved a code for any Bethesda game.
Yeah.
Would have loved it. But nope. I got it when everybody else did.
Yep. Well, we're not popular enough to get stuff.
We don't have enough opinions.
I've got plenty of opinions.
Okay, we don't have enough published opinions on the right series, clearly. Yeah. At least that's my case. Like, all my opinions go on the PIPCAST, and less than 1,000 people view it each time. So that's on me. I got to rebrand and turn this into a list.
Yeah.
Like the thing we're gonna go over later, but that's not a segue to it. A list of things you can look at right now that you may benefit from is the spring sale is going on Steam.
It is.
And you can get lots of things. And let me just go over the games that you can get that are related to the things we talk about. You can get Starfield for 33% off. You can get Fallout 76 for 75% off. You can get the Arcane 20th Anniversary Collection, which includes Prey and Dishonored 1 and 2, I believe, for $20. 84% off. You can get the Wolfenstein Alt History Collection. That's an interesting name for a collection. 85% off.
Yeah.
The Doom franchise bundle, which includes the newer ones and the older ones, for 76% off.
76.
The Elder Scrolls Online. The Elder Scrolls Online for 70% off. That's $6.
Yeah.
But that's just the base game.
That is just the base game.
That is just the base game.
There's a lot of expansions. What I'm impressed about is 75% off of Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which is £4 here in the UK. I'm guessing like $5.
Yeah, $5.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Morrowind's more expensive, because for some reason Morrowind's only 60% off.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they decided that.
Probably because it's the more popular of the older ones?
I guess.
Maybe. I don't know.
Also, weirdly, in the Elder Scrolls category on Steam, one of the things they have is Fallout New Vegas original game soundtrack.
Yeah, they have the soundtracks listed here too, including the Redfall one.
Yeah, but literally in the Elder Scrolls category, they've got all Elder Scrolls stuff, and then on one page there's a Fallout New Vegas soundtrack, on another page the Fallout 3 soundtrack, and that's in the Elder Scrolls category.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
Speaking of Redfall, you can get that for 75% off, $17.49 USD.
Yeah. That game's still priced as like a $70 game, I assume.
Yeah. If you're really, really curious, you'll get a better deal on Game Pass anyway.
Yeah.
Because then you can just play all these too.
Yeah, you can play all these. But yeah, this is the thing. Oh, God.
The downside, though, is if you wanted to mod your games, feel like that's worth mentioning too, is it's notoriously more difficult, if impossible, to mod your games with the Xbox storefront version.
No, I will say, if you're looking to just try out these games, then Game Pass, just like get 1 month of it.
Oh yeah,
and that's a fairly cheap way to try out these games.
You will
and
go cross-eyed trying so many Bethesda games.
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk about at the very end of the podcast a couple of Game Pass games I've been trying out.
I think Caedo will love this. What is this?
Oh, we're moving on to the next thing.
Oh my god, it's the thing I wanted in my head.
Deep Rock Galactic devs drill for a Helldivers 2 collab. Stream the game just to say, please, pretty please, don't leave us on red.
Ah, that's so great. Oh, please respond.
Yeah, this was something I just came across and was like, well, Caedo's going to enjoy this. Caedo enjoys both those games.
Yes. Yeah, and they're very much of the same DNA, too. Like, they would kind of work together. Yeah. Even though they're very aesthetically different. But they would play similar. Yeah, like, if we just get a Rock and Stone in there, too, like, that'd be so good.
Yeah. But it was, so the devs for Deep Rock Galactic streamed some Helldivers 2, and just, like, made jokes, had a good time, and kind of were pointing out that they want to get in touch with the devs of Helldivers 2 and do something together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite nice and sweet how they did this. I like it.
It may be a while yet before we see Rock and Stone join hands with Sweet Liberty. But they did responded, though, with a new war bond. I have no doubt the studio still...
You missed out the word neither.
Okay, never mind.
Neither CEO Johan Pilestead.
Neither CEO. Okay, I can't read. I've lost the ability to read words and also comprehend them to where they tell the truth. So
you did manage to miss out just the negatives on that. I feel like that was some wishful thinking.
That's
on your
me
part.
just wanting it to exist, willing it into existence. Speaking of willing things into existence, hey, tier lists. That's all they are.
We're doing the tier list sort of thing.
We are. Yeah.
And we're going through a list at the same time as listing ourselves. Every Fallout game ranked.
Yeah. That's the gamer thing that we decided to... Well, that I decided. And Sarge just kind of went along with it. Thank you, Sarge.
No worries.
This one is by Jason Wonar, Charles Berger, we know that name, and Zachary Wiggs. And updated 3 days ago at time of recording. It says Amazon's Fallout TV series is right around the corner, and there is nothing like a new addition to a series to make you want a trip down memory lane. Whether you're a longtime Fallout fan or you're just now hearing about it, there's plenty to enjoy about a series as a whole. About the series as a whole. While some games do stand out above the others, there has never been a series that allowed for a more interesting mix of wacky, sad, and nuclear moments than Fallout. But what else would you expect from a series that has survived the jump from video game, board game, card game, and now to TV? But that was the update by Zachary Wiggs. So this is probably an older list that was just updated for, search engine optimization.
Yeah.
As they do.
They do.
And it opens with... The actual opening of the article is Fallout is one of the largest RPGs in the world, instantly recognizable with its off-kilter 1950s aesthetic. Playing with the era's obsession of fear of nuclear annihilation, the series has seen plenty of titles at this point that vary wildly from the last. While the first 2 entries in the series were heavily focused on roleplay, Bethesda's versions have focused more on exploration and less on dialogue. That divide does help Fallout appeal to almost anyone, however. Whether you are a hardcore RPG fan or like to explore an apocalyptic setting, this universe has something for you. Here are all the Fallout titles ranked from worst to best.
Objectively, with 100%, everyone's going to agree with this.
We're adding that in. This is objective, according to TheGamer.
I've got a fun little game. I've already seen what's at their number 9 slot.
Me too.
Also, 9 Fallout games. I'm curious which ones these are going to be.
I'm also wondering which ones we're going to call out as missing.
Yeah. I preemptively want us both to guess what they have listed in what order.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I've already gotten a peek at 8, too.
Oh, no. Okay.
Because I scrolled a little far.
Don't tell me yet. Number 9... we can both see is Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. We've both seen that. That's not a surprise.
Yeah. Lowest tier, lowest rung.
Okay.
Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
8. I'm gonna guess Tactics.
Incorrect.
Was it 76?
Yeah.
God, I was like, oh no, they won't go 76. They'll go Tactics. Tactics is more niche. Okay, in which case, Tactics I bet would be number 7. Well, we don't need to look at them yet. This is just preempting. Yeah. I bet it's going to be Brotherhood of Steel, 76, Tactics. I'm not sure what would come next. Shelter, I guess?
Shelter, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, Shelter or Tactics I could see switching around as well.
Yeah.
Then, after that...
Pinball.
I don't think they've got Pinball. There's 9 of these.
I know.
Pinball would make it 10, so they've left out Pinball. After that, I'm going to bet, like, Fallout 3. Fallout 3, then Fallout 4... then Classic Fallout, then Fallout 2, then New Vegas at number 1, obviously.
I feel like New Vegas is obvious number 1.
Yeah,
or they'll throw us for a loop and make it the original Fallout.
Possibly. I'm still going with the original Fallout in 3rd place.
I think the original Fallout might be in 2nd place.
That's fair. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Because even though my own bias is like Fallout 2 is best, like Fallout 2 has a lot of context from the first game. That is necessary.
I think this list is going to be very much just trying to appeal to a crowd more than anything.
Oh yeah.
So
we're giving this more thought than the writers probably did, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, that's also not how I'd rank for Fallout games, because Brotherhood of Steel, they're putting it at the lowest when it is objectively the greatest game ever made of all time.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that'd be S+, obviously.
Yeah.
So, do you want to read number 9, since we've already spoiled 9 and 8?
So, Ad Victoriam, it's for Brotherhood of Steel. Not to be confused with Fallout Tactics Brotherhood of Steel, which I will say is... Why? These games came out so close to each other. That's such dumb naming.
Sarge.
Fallout Brotherhood of Steel takes everything that makes Fallout great and throws it out the window, opting to make a dungeon-crawling RPG instead. I mean... Okay, there's a second thing, but I'm going to say that the making it a dungeon-crawling RPG doesn't sound bad.
On paper, it sounds fine.
Yeah, and...
But it's not.
A dungeon-crawling RPG, technically, a lot of the places you go into in Fallout are technically dungeons at the broad category. Like, I feel like most Fallout games could be described as dungeon-crawling RPGs.
Yeah, but... You're getting into the minutia, and also that's a genre that's established. Gauntlet is another dungeon crawler. Like people have an image of what dungeon crawler is, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. This game allowed you to control initiates in the Brotherhood of Steel faction, tasked with exploring the wasteland in search of artifacts. There are no moral decisions, special is static on characters instead of customizable, and the game's narrative is not as nuanced as the mainline titles. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel would have been a disappointing last cry for the series had Bethesda not bought it from Interplay and made Fallout 3.
Wow! Hey, they just gave Bethesda props without saying Bethesda. Oh wait, they said Bethesda.
Oh no, they did say Bethesda.
My bad.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm surprised they gave the props at the end there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like on a serious note, most people would put Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
Oh, if they played it,
place.
yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like people,
Yeah.
a lot of people just can't play it because it's PS2 and original Xbox.
Yup.
Like, worst case, you get it on an emulator and it has some fun, flashy graphical issues. But yeah, it's not really worth your time if you don't have the hardware for it.
Yeah, I do find
and
it's...
even if you do, it's not really worth your money.
Yeah, I do find it's kind of almost a nice test to see how many Fallout games people know is when they're talking about the worst Fallout game. If they don't say Brotherhood of Steel, because it is objectively the worst. There's so few people who like it. Like, they are out there. Everyone's entitled to enjoy the games they
There was
enjoy.
that one Uber driver who had a
Yep.
had a Brotherhood tattoo that I asked him about it, and he was like, Brotherhood of Steel's my favorite. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. But I feel like for the most part, if someone says like, oh, Fallout 76 is the worst ever, you get the impression straight away that they're unaware of Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
the Fallout
Definitely.
games.
You have no idea how bad it can be. You
Like-
have no idea.
Launch Day 76 with all the bugs and stuff is better than Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
You know, well, I would have to go back. They're
I'm
almost
gonna say
like
it.
they're almost neck and neck. I feel that's my own feeling on it because 76 was rough.
Yeah, my argument would be you have to deal with all of the bugs in 76, but there's actually some fun stuff to do in it.
Yeah, that part's true.
It's like, you can deal with all the problems of Brotherhood of Steel, and your reward is playing Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah. No, that part's true. I also
Like, don't get me wrong, 76 at launch was real bad, but there was something.
yeah. And like nearly every like very 2000s metalcore kind of game like Brotherhood of Steel was of the time. So
Yeah.
nearly every female character on screen was busty in some way and also like overly sexualized. and they had like brand deals that didn't really make sense, like the Balls Garana stuff. They had full on references that weren't even clever. Like they did a Fight Club reference like in the middle of a firefight that you're having. Like there's just these dudes surrounding a table. They're like, his name was Robert Paulson. It's like, that's it. It was just the scene, just recreated in the game while you're trying to not die. Like it's just there's one thing that Brotherhood of Steel brought in that I didn't remember until I played the game with Kite again, and that was quite a few years ago now. Is mini nukes first appeared in this game.
Dun dun.
Yeah, Fallout 3 was not the first. Yeah, but that's like all it had. Oh,
I mean,
and a playable ghoul, unfortunately, in the worst game.
Playable ghoul.
I mean, tactics you can get ghoul squad mates too, but yeah, but as a main character, like Brothers of Steel, if that's your only draw, go for it. You're gonna hate it. Anyway, number 8, Fallout 76. You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Take Me Home, Country Road. Oh, it says even the platforms it's on and stuff.
It does. We have multiple images for each of these. Also, one of the images was of Fallout 4.
God dang it! I don't know where the break is, so I keep scrolling down too far. Anyway, while Brotherhood of Steel failed to be a Fallout game, Fallout 76 is at the very least a proper Fallout title with quests and decisions to make. This experiment from Bethesda sets you into an open world for them to cooperate in or fight against each other.
Yeah, that's a weird sentence.
That's
not a misreading on your part. That
not
sentence
grammatically
is weird.
correct at all. A multiplayer Fallout title sounds fantastic on paper, but the unrelenting number of bugs and lack of human NPCs at launch compromise what could have been a fun co-op Fallout game. Fortunately, updates have remedied many of the issues that plagued the game's early days. I don't know why I had such a hard time reading that.
No. The content of what they've said seems fine to me.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder a bit why it's number 8 specifically.
Uncharacteristically fun. Maybe because it was edited.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe it was originally number 8, and
If
it
this came out earlier,
close to launch.
yeah, yeah, and like only after like Wasteland.
Oh yeah, because some of these images are very recent. Like the final image, there's a guy with a bow, which is a weapon which was added later, I believe, bow and arrow, and it's got a custom like skin on the bow, which didn't happen when bows first came out. So yeah, these images have almost certainly been added at a later date. Because I imagine this list is somewhat old.
Yeah,
but I'm still really annoyed because they got 4 images. And the third one is from Fallout 4, not from Fallout 76.
Wait, what?
The Rad Scorpion in Mats.
How do you know it's from Fallout 4?
The crit bar, the face, the setting, the ammo counter, the name. That's Fallout 4's UI.
Oh, okay.
Like that. How do you not realize that?
I just see VATS, dude.
Like, oh, okay.
I've seen so much VATS in my life.
VATS is just VATS for you now.
Yeah.
No, I can even tell you that's by the diner where what's her face is having the argument with the 2 like chem dealers.
Oh yeah. And they're like, give us our money, and then you just walk in and shoot them in the head.
Yeah, that's the early Rad Scorpion spawn, and they're currently using a double-barrel shotgun. You want to know anything else about the image? Me show off how much Fallout 4 I've played?
Nerd!
Want to know what their perception's at? They've got a perception of 5, I reckon, judging by the distance and the 49 to hit on the face.
Okay, alright.
That's just a guess, though.
This guy flexing over here.
Number 7, Fallout Shelter.
Fallout Shelter, yep. Is it my turn? Or is it your turn?
You just read it out.
Did I? Okay.
Let me talk.
Sorry.
Let me talk,
I'm sorry, please.
Fallout Shelter has no right to be as good as it is. The mobile game ported to consoles and PC lets you create your own vault as an overseer, controlling the infrastructure and inhabitants of the vault. Vault dwellers can explore the wasteland to find new items to use. Facilities can stop working, mole rats can infest your vault, and the typical Fallout insanity you'd come to expect is all here. It might lack the in-depth questing or memorable characters of the main titles, but the overall experience is enjoyable enough to warrant a try. I mean, this is another thing where I kind of agree with the content of what they said. I wouldn't put it as number 7, though. I don't think so. I put 76 up higher, but I suppose they are very different gameplay types.
That's the context of like being hard to rank too, because this is the free title on the list as well. Like you can just get it and play it.
Yeah. Yep.
And the way in which Shelter was launched too, like that was shadow dropped. When we had like the final Fallout 4, I think it was like E3 thing or whatever, and Todd Howard's like, you download it right now, get Fallout Shelter,
which is really good.
Yeah, that was like a really smart move. Yep. Because they had it as a surprise.
Yeah. Unlike Elder Scrolls Castles, which just kind of half came out, but only in a country or two. I
still don't know what it is.
No one talks about it, and we've got like no Elder Scrolls stuff launching at the same time as it. I don't even know if Castles is officially launched. Like I think it's in America, but not over here in the UK. Like I'm not certain though.
Should I look at the App Store and see if I can find it?
Yeah, let me know real quick.
Okay. Elder Scrolls Castles.
When you Google it, it doesn't even do the thing where, you know when you Google a game and it'll be like, this video game, and give its own special thing? Elder Scrolls Castle doesn't even have that.
About this game, rule over your subjects and grow your dynasty in castles. From Bethesda Game Studios, the award-winning developer behind Skyrim and Fallout Shelter, comes the Elder Scrolls Castles, a new mobile game that puts you in control of your very own castle and dynasty. Oversee your subjects as the years come and go, families grow, and new rulers take the throne. Sorry. Tell your story for generations. Each day in the real life covers the span of an entire year in the Elder Scrolls Castles. Train your subjects, name heirs, and maintain order to help your kingdom flourish. Will you keep your subjects happy and ensure a long life for their ruler? Or will they grow discontent and plot assassination? Whoa.
I'm looking through the images again. This art style does not work with Elder Scrolls.
It looks bad.
The cartoony stuff, you can get away with it in Fallout because you got like Vault Boy and stuff to mess with. But this is just... Oh, it's terrible.
Doesn't work.
Oh, I forgot how bad it looks. And all I can do is pre-register for it.
It says coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I clicked pre-register and it said, you're pre-registered.
When is soon, though? What does soon mean? Never?
Oh, probably. Who knows? Who knows?
All right. After that side adventure, to find out if the Elder Scrolls Castle is a real game or not,
Yep.
let's move on to number 6. Fallout Tactics Brotherhood of Steel. I think you were right on that one, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where I put it.
It says, get your VATS ready. Haha, really funny because it's real time. It's the mode you're probably supposed to play it in. Fallout Tactics has more in common with strategy games like XCOM than in the main Fallout IP. Unlike Brotherhood of Steel, Fallout Tactics respects the IP and has kept core elements intact. Yes, I agree. The game has a respectable plot that does its own thing and tries not to interfere with the main games. You control a squad of 6 soldiers who can range from humans to Deathclaws. Tactics can be played in real time or turn-based, allowing for more tactical gameplay and decision-making than the main games. It also has a multiplayer mode that lets players fight each other with squads they control. It's a rather fun game that focuses on Fallout's combat more than the story and RPG mechanics.
Yeah.
Seems like these were grabbed. I saw something very similar stated this first bit. Fallout Tactics has more in common with strategy games like XCOM. I saw that almost word for word on Reddit, so I have a feeling that I'm not gonna say it. I have a feeling that this is not all their own words. Okay. But this is not saying anything for or against. This is like the most neutral we've found so far.
Yeah. Which feels weird because I feel like a couple of the previous ones were positive.
Yeah, and
but
this one's just
neutral,
explaining
but
what
is
it is.
rated higher.
Yeah. This is Fallout Tactics Brotherhood of Steel. It's a Fallout game where you control a squad and you shoot guys and stuff.
Yeah, so the number 9 rating was just like bad. We're just like, yeah, this is bad. Fair enough, 9th place.
Yeah.
The number 8 was bad, but got better. So I can kind of understand why that's fair on my ranking. Number 7, boy, this seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Number 6, meh, it's neutral.
Yeah. This game exists. Yeah. It sounds like they both haven't played it and then looked at Reddit for opinions on or how the game is, or like maybe on the wiki or something.
I feel like so far though this list is leaning in the direction I was expecting it to. And oh yeah, what a surprise!
Yep.
I thought Fallout 3 would be slightly lower, but instead it's at number 5 is Fallout 4.
Surprising. Actually, not really. Not really.
I mean, I know the next one after is gonna be Fallout 3. I know what they're going with this list. Of course it's gonna be. But first, Fallout 4 is a strange game. It took away skills, simplified the special system, overhauled dialogue to mimic Mass Effect, and the main protagonist is now voiced. Those changes harmed the role-playing aspects that Fallout was known for, but it did overhaul the combat, include a base building mechanic, and feature unprecedented weapon and armor customization. Fallout 4 has more in common with survival games and looter shooters than it does a proper RPG, yet that gameplay shift is just as engaging. Finding scrap to make the perfect gun is a fun process that keeps you engaged with the world around you, but Fallout 4 is going through an identity crisis the entire game that you can't shake the feeling of. Not even the unprecedented passion from the modding community can fix the lack of RPG systems fans came to expect.
Ooh, there is too many burns in this one to be number 5.
Yep. I also want to say,
speaking of identity crisis.
Yeah. Pet peeve of mine is people always being like, oh, it's not RPG enough, when it's such a vague term. Like, fair enough being like, oh, they took away skills. I don't know if I agree with simplified the special system. Like, I don't know what they mean by that. Because I feel like the special system is still the special system in Fallout 4.
It's the mashup of special skills and perks are all one thing.
Okay. But I don't feel like that's simplifying the special system, because we already have the point where perks, you need like a certain amount in a special to get that. If anything, special is just now more integrated into the perk system. Like, I disagree with simplified the special system. I don't see how it's simpler. It's still just special, and it does the same stuff as in previous games. Additionally, the overhauled dialogue to mimic Mass Effect, like, I don't agree with the mimic Mass Effect thing.
I mean, at face value, yes, it does mimic Mass Effect, because even the like directional choices, like when
is that what they're getting at?
When you're saying like something, because it, you know, right side is things like right side is aggressive, left side is the correct answer, up is question.
Okay.
Down it
Down
had the
kind
same layout as Mass Effect, basically.
I understand what they mean now, I guess, on that part. That's fine. Although that's another thing where I'd say you could be a bit clearer, especially with them saying the main protagonist now being voiced. I feel like that's a big point to kind of.
Oh wait,
go
sarcasm. Sarcasm was up, right? Or down?
I can't. It changed around a bit. I do get what you mean now that you've explained it in that way, because I'm vaguely aware of Mass Effect. You go in certain directions for certain emotions. Yeah, I kind of get what they're talking about now, which is something I think is a negative point towards Fallout. I will fully agree on that.
Yep. But the drunk dialogue skips that no one knows about. Ooh.
I mean, we know about them.
Yeah, we do, but not enough people do.
Yeah. Yeah, the proper RPG thing feels a bit gatekeepery. Just gonna say it.
I mean that it's, I don't know. It's like it's too overused. It's too generic of an argument that like there's no real. You're not saying much of anything. It's like it's not. You could say it's not a game for me. You would get that's like the same result.
It's like, the same result. It's more honest, and you seem like a more rational and reasonable person immediately by saying that.
Yeah.
Being able to admit that a game is not for you is actually like quite a refreshing thing when discussing games online.
And I could give another example too. It's like if I said I hate Souls games as opposed to Souls games aren't for me.
Yeah.
Both are kind of saying nothing. Yeah,
but of course, Souls games aren't proper RPGs.
They're not my thing.
Because you get most,
you could go that route.
Perks and skills. Like, what's that about?
Yeah. It's like parry mechanics aren't very RPG, are they?
Yeah.
Obviously.
You can't parry in New Vegas, so it's not an RPG mechanic.
Right. Yeah, let's make everybody mad. Everybody has clicked off at this point.
Hello, Tifa, Sven, Rosie, Eric, maybe. We could probably individually name the people still listening.
Against all odds, of course.
Yep. Against all odds will be here. We're looking forward to your comment, buddy. It's always a good one.
Yep.
Shall we move on to the number 4 one, Caedo? Do you want to read it out?
Oh, interesting. Fallout 3, a capital idea. Did Ellen Rose write this?
There's a lot of... I mean...
I like the puns, is what I'm saying.
That's the first proper pun I'd say we've had so far. Fallout 4 subheading was Back to the East Coast, which isn't a pun. Fallout Tactics was Get Your Vats Ready, which... I'm not sure what that's a pun on.
I don't know if it is.
Yeah. Fallout Shelter has become an overseas day, not a pun. 76, Take Me Home Country Road. They missed the S out. That's just the name of the song. And Brother of Steel is Ad Victoriam. This is the first, like, actual pun we've had.
Wow.
The subheader. I wonder if they put the subheaders in just because they had the idea for the Fallout 3 subheader and then realised they didn't have ideas for the other ones.
One of them just watched Outside Xbox one time.
Ooh.
Or Outside Extra one time. Sorry, I'm really being insulting today. I am so sorry. I started the recording. I was like, Sarge, I woke up combative today, and I guess I'm following through on that. So please don't at me. I don't care. I was just in a mood. So anyway, Fallout 3 is number 4. Yeah.
Yep.
Regardless of your opinion on Bethesda, Fallout would not be as large as it is today if not for the incredibly successful Fallout 3. Bethesda took elements from Fallout and Fallout 2 and incorporated them into their open world formula made popular by the Elder Scrolls series. Series staples like special, stats, skills, and VATS were all integrated into a new first-person perspective. The story questionably depicts the Brotherhood of Steel as beacons of virtue, but the rest of the game is true to the source material. The wasteland feels hostile and desolate, and combat can become an absurd gore fest like the originals. With its fantastic DLCs, Fallout 3 is a great RPG title that anyone can easily get into. Yes, on console. Probably requires a little tinkering on PC, depending on your PC.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of people having like some issues and stuff. I will
Lots.
say once it starts working on PC, it seems to be fine.
Oh, it's great.
Like most of the stuff I see people complaining about is like initially getting it to start.
But when it's not, it's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have notes. Even they've complimented Bethesda twice.
They have. What did I want to say? The fantastic DLCs. I don't think all of the DLCs are great.
Nope.
It's about as controversial I'm going to get on this entry.
But I'll
Yeah.
say it. Zeta sucks.
Yeah.
The only
Some
thing good
people
about
love
that
it.
one is you get the most powerful, the overpowered weapons.
Yeah. I've seen some people recently even talk about how good Mothership Zeta is. And it just
Nah.
feels a bit weird to me, because it's meh. I guess if you're really into aliens.
Yeah.
Also, the depicting the Brotherhood of Steel and saying it's not true to the source material, while correct, I do think Fallout 3 actually does a fairly good job as depicting this segment of the Brotherhood of Steel.
Explaining them, yeah.
Yeah, as different, and that's why the outcasts exist, because
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones kind of sticking true to things. So, I don't feel like that's wrong in what they've said, but I feel like it doesn't fairly showcase what was actually done.
Yeah.
That'll be my one slight critique of it.
That's your soapbox.
Yeah.
Your box of soap that you're standing on
Mm-hmm.
and shouting to anybody that'll listen.
Shouting, I think this could be a little more nuanced.
And everybody being like, no, black and white, get out of here.
Yep. And I hate to point it out, but I've been not spot on with my entries, but it's very much been a case of they've just flipped a couple of my entries
You've
around.
been pretty accurate. So yeah,
And-
it's going to be New Vegas first. I know.
Yeah.
It,
And
yeah.
what a surprise, at number 3, where I predicted it, Fallout.
Yep.
It all started here.
It all started here, which is why it should be number 1.
I'm reading this.
Okay.
No Fallout game has depicted the grim, post-apocalyptic setting better than Interplay's 1997 original. The game's opening level throws you out of your home, only to meet a corpse and a loaded pistol next to them. Vault dwellers are frowned upon by most societies in this game. People want to rat you out and take everything in your home, but you must survive the harsh wasteland to find a replacement for your vault's water chip. The main narrative is the best the series has ever seen, though the game heavily lacks side content and companions. If you can deal with the dated graphics and clunky combat, there is an immersive wasteland waiting to be explored and understood. I feel like I need to pick your brains on a couple of bits here,
Oh, sure.
because you're the classics expert out of the two of us.
Oh, man.
Is there a corpse next to the skeleton you meet outside? Oh,
Yes.
is there, sorry, a gun next to the skeleton you meet outside?
That's actually something that brought up a flag in my head, too, because Fallout 1 actually just gave you equipment based on your tagged skills.
Yeah, and, well, you know what? As luck would have happen, words are difficult. I actually have a recording of Fallout 1 right here.
Hey, me too, on my channel.
I've got an OBS recording, and yeah, I do not see a gun on the ground. I'm searching the body, and nope. Ed's dead. Search for bones, nothing there. I don't see a gun on the ground. You normally start with it in your inventory if you've got the gun skill.
Yeah, so they were wrong.
They were wrong. Also, the Vault Dwellers frowned upon. People want to rat you out and take everything in your home. Like,
Not really.
yeah, but
That's not
it
very
seems like
prominent, I don't think.
Vault Dwellers are definitely treated differently.
Yes.
That's like factually
They're treated as
correct.
ignorant because they are. But the thing that would like make you concerned, like the mutant attack timer that got patched out stupidly early in the game's life cycle. And people do keep bringing it up because a mod added it back into the game.
Oh.
But if you're playing it just as is, the digital version,
Yeah.
if you talk to the water merchants and get more water sent to the vault, it won't attract the super mutants. Like, they will not show up at your vault.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like when you tell people you're a vault dweller, some of them like think you're full of crap. Like the Junktown mayor, Killian, he just doesn't believe you.
Yep.
And but Aradesh at Shady Sands, if you either thing that you say to him, basically he's just like, yeah, sure. Like, he's skeptical.
Yeah.
So like that's about as far as it goes, though, I think. It's a lot more hilarious when in Fallout 2. Well, we'll get to that, obviously, but it's a lot more.
We can get to that right now if you want.
It's number two. Number two is
it's
2.
time for you to do that one.
2 is 2. A scenic drive. Oh. The first thing you will notice in Fallout 2 is how little the game takes itself seriously. Easter eggs are littered everywhere, which prevents the game from being as immersive as the first. Luckily, this game improves on the first title in almost every other way possible. Tons of side missions and companions can be found while maintaining an engaging main narrative. Combat has seen some quality of life improvements, and exploration has become more important than ever with the massive scope of Fallout 2. While Fallout has an unmatched atmosphere, Fallout 2 has unmatched replay value out of any Fallout game out there. It's just a shame how relentless pop culture references and dated mechanics prevent this game from being the best. I never felt that the references were too over the top in Fallout 2, because like I grew up with it, so I kind of knew that it was goofy, especially with some
you're
of the
an old man
so.
as well, so they're not dated references for you.
I'm so old.
Yeah, ancient Caedo, born in the 20s.
Yep.
100 years old now.
I've never seen Doctor Who, and yet I know what a TARDIS is because of Fallout 2.
Oh. Unmatched replay value out of any of the Fallout games out there.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
Yeah, I feel like
New Vegas and Fallout 3 can even maybe Fallout 4 if you're really into building settlements.
I mean, Fallout 4 has like 4 different main factions to side with as well.
Yeah,
which is 4
Fallout
playthroughs straight
2's
away.
Fallout 2's latter half, well, maybe closer to the final act of the game, I think. I have noticed myself like drop off pretty substantially, pretty regularly with that part of the game. Because once you hit a certain power level, like the only thing that's going to take you down is Horrigan himself.
Yeah.
So, or a lucky shot from an Enclave patrol.
Yep.
So then also if you're grinding out character levels and stuff like that, you're looking for like death claws to encounter and stuff like that. And it I don't know, the fall off is a lot more aggressive, I think, in Fallout 2 than it would be in the Bethesda ones. So that is one part that I don't necessarily agree with, but just the more stuff aspect of Fallout 2, like there is so much more stuff.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even mention the car.
They didn't, which is weird, seeing as they put a scenic drive and have a picture of the highwayman as one of their free pictures.
They didn't mention cars in Tactics or Fallout 2.
Yeah, it is a bit unusual.
I think that's a shot from my video.
Wait, which one?
The car.
Wait, the car one. I was gonna say that's that looks kind of like
Hold on.
unusual.
Let me double check. 1 second. Let me look at my car guide. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Why does it look so familiar?
I mean, it does look like it's very much your editing style.
And that's a full map too. Like that's what gets me too, is I stitched together the map myself.
Yeah.
So I could display it at that level. Primitive tribe. No, this is not my map. No. It's got the EPA location too. No, never mind. No, this is not mine.
Okay.
Because they have the re-added cut content from
I see.
Collapse Mod or something like that. Restoration patch, that thing.
So it's lies.
Whoops. It's lies.
Dun dun.
Liars. Okay, Sarge. What is number
On to
one?
number one. Well, number one, they say Fallout 76. Hey, sorry guys, we were mistaken before. We've decided to change our opinion. Fallout 76, we're actually super big fans. That's what it says, right, Caedo? Oh wait, no. What a surprise, it's New Vegas.
And the rest of the people clicked off.
So yeah, oh god, I hate it from the start. Created in under a year, Fallout New Vegas is considered by many to be Obsidian's best work.
Is that how math works?
Yeah. It takes the fun exploration of Fallout 3 and combines it with the array of content Fallout 2 offers. You begin your journey as a courier who was shot in the head and left for dead. You spend parts of the game finding the man who killed you, but the game quickly spirals into a freeway war over Hoover Dam. An unprecedented level of choice lets you shape the narrative. Thankfully, it left the constant pop culture references to an opt-in trait you could take instead of being in the game by default. While the early game is rather slow, it quickly builds up into an epic confrontation with every faction in the western United States. Few games can match the quality of writing and player choice that New Vegas presents, and it makes it the best Fallout game in the whole series. So, I'll let you take the under the year one. I want to quickly say that every faction in the western United States does not get involved in the confrontation. They literally have just said there's a freeway fight, which I kind of agree with. But even that is like, it's still technically two-way kind of, but yeah, it's kind of a freeway because of a betrayal potentially at the end. A freeway fight at the end, I'm fine with that. But there's more than three factions, especially in the western United States. They haven't even said in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's the final line of that paragraph is just objectively wrong. Now, Caedo, they're created under a year, which you had no problems with, right?
Wasn't it 18 months?
I'm pretty sure it was created in under 2 years, is the thing I always remember. Let's do some fact checking. 18 months. Yep. Immediately. Immediately just pops up with 18 months. Which is more than a year for those who struggle. That is, in fact, a year and a half. And, yeah, it's...
Yep. Incorrect math, yay!
It feels weird to put that as, like... I know New Vegas fans like to be like, oh, it was made in such a short time, but it's still so good. And then also not acknowledge that Bethesda gave them the tools so that they didn't have to build any of the stuff. They, didn't have to build, like, the base engine or a lot of the things. They were able to reuse some assets and things like that, which obviously helps a lot. That never gets brought up, which bugs me. But also, original Fallout and Fallout 2 were released a year apart. I feel like the development cycle for Fallout 2 was probably shorter, right? And they didn't bring that up in that entry.
Yeah. They also had, like, the bones of, like, their original tools and locations and stuff like that, so, like...
Yeah.
Seemed like they were able to crank it out a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And also just like, internal knowledge, too.
Yep.
Of, like, what they were already working with. Like,
yeah.
This is so many years after the same, the story of the Vault Dweller. You're a descendant. Like, yeah, they knew what they were doing. That's what I'm saying. And also, I think Tim Kaine does go into details about this on his personal channel, where he's been doing vlogs about literally his whole life as a game developer. It seems like it anyway. Where he wasn't directly involved with the development of Fallout 2, but had some things to say about how quickly it was developed because, they kind of set the stage with the first game. Yeah, he's got cool insights too. Yeah. But I am not terribly surprised by this list.
Nope. I almost got the predictions right. I think I needed to flip 2 entries at 2 points, and I would have got it spot on.
Yeah, I think it would have been really cool if Fallout, the original, got first, but
no, third place. That's what I called. I called third place.
That's what I get for being an old man.
It's not about. It's about just doing this in the specific order. And if Fallout New Vegas isn't your favorite, then Fallout 2 is the other acceptable favorite to have within like the hardcore fan base quite often. So I was like, yep, that's going to be number 1 and number 2. I knew it.
That's Liz. I don't have any final thoughts even about.
No, I will say, like what we mentioned earlier, it is weird how they've got some of the entries, they only say positive stuff and they're quite low down, but in these later entries they have negatives to say, but they're still at
like
the top.
in the middle.
Yeah,
almost like in the middle of the list. It's like there was some aspects that were not good, or like the Fallout Tactics one where they clearly have not even touched Fallout Tactics and just grabbed a definition of the game from somewhere, likely Reddit. Or I could be like, I don't know, inceptioning myself and like somebody on Reddit was quoting this. I don't know.
Possibly.
Could be. But yeah, did this match up with your list internally, listeners? Was Fallout 76 still the lowest for you because you haven't played Fallout Brotherhood of Steel and don't know how bad it can get? Please tell us in the comments. I mean, amazing. Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, obviously number 1.
Yep.
In fact, it's so high on the list, it's 0.5. Yeah, so high. It's the highest.
Yeah.
It's transcended lists.
I don't want to get anyone excited because I don't think we're going to do this as a list, but I also saw the Gamer article of 7 characters everyone creates in Bethesda games. Which, oh boy, that looks terrible. I don't think so. We did different builds people play in games. This is like spread across all Bethesda games. I've already scrolled down and it's terrible. I hate it.
There's also the Gamer article that says Starfield versus Fallout 4, which game is better?
Oh no. Oh boy.
Save that one for later.
We've always got gamer lists we can do, but if you, in the comments below, want us to talk about anything Fallout specific, let us know. We're looking for more topics.
Yes,
you know?
Yes. Bring on the topics, please. There has been a couple of occasions, especially the last couple of months, where I have been really struggling trying to find something interesting for us to talk about. That could just be my mental state, which I'm seeing a therapist about in like half a week, thankfully.
Yeah.
But it could be some other things too, like you know, boredom, burnout, other B words that I can't say on the podcast.
Bulbous.
Baldur's Gate. I don't know.
Outside of your therapy appointments, what else you been doing?
Oh man, what a great way to talk about what I've done in my time. I did finish a Starfield guide.
Yay.
I know it's hard to believe. With your encouragement, Sarge, because you were like, finish your guide or we're not going to play Helldivers 2 together.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much
pretty much spot on. I told Caedo he wasn't allowed to play Helldivers 2 until he got the commentary recorded.
Yeah, and that was the kick I needed to finish my commentary at least. And then after that, it's really easy to put the video together. So, it was the Varun Scriptures guide for Starfield because I put myself in this hole where I'm just like, well, I gotta finish all of them now.
Yeah. Do you know how many magazine guides you got left?
I'm a little over the halfway mark, I think, because I decided to do all the 10 ones first. Or the rest of the 10 ones, and then the rest will be after that 5s, which are much quicker, obviously. And I ran into a fun discovery of a location that I have not seen ever in any playthrough yet. And it is called, one second, the Abandoned Griplight Manufacturing Plant. This location in Starfield only spawns once per playthrough.
Huh.
and it's procedural, and it has a side quest attached to it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm pissed. That is too much random for this random game. And, of course, this Griplight manufacturing plant has a magazine inside of it. So I have been taking off and landing, which you may see in some of the B-roll if I decide to re-record Starfield for the B-roll here. You'll just see me taking off and landing in desert biomes because that's where it's supposed to spawn. If it hasn't shown up in your game. Thankfully, I did find a Reddit post that gave me some more context to go off of that I definitely wouldn't have had if I had tried to do this earlier. But yeah, this is so far one of the biggest chores is finding all the Nova Galactic magazines and realizing that one of them is at a one-time spawn procedural location that I'm trying to force, and it's literally not showing up. But I have footage of it from like some random video of somebody discovering it, what the quest looks like, what the icon looks like that I need to find, like the need for a desert biome, like all of those things hopefully will magically create the place that I need to go to. And aside from that, I was obviously geeking out about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth last episode, because I had just started playing it and then we had to record and I was like, I want to play more. But I finished it. I didn't completion finish it because there are way too many mini games, some of which are stupidly hard by like the third round or whatever, the best reward state, I guess. So I got to the end of the game, and it kind of did, without spoiling anything, it kind of did what Remake did and mash up a whole bunch of confusing crap at the end of it.
Cool.
To kind of take away from the impact of what was supposed to happen in Rebirth. And I was I have a grasp of what's happening, but I also have some theories that are fun about how it's going to go. But it did, because they made it really confusing for players, especially new players. I have no idea how new players are going to be able to handle this game. They had a problem with like really jumping to action a little too quickly after an emotional moment in the game. And they did it several times, especially towards the end. And that's one of the weaknesses I saw in FF7 Rebirth. But still, the overall experience, I think I was talking about the Junon parade segment, like that whole thing, freaking amazing. The gold saucer showing up there, freaking amazing. Returning to Nibelheim, awesome. Cosmo Canyon, pretty freaking cool. Like everything outside of my initial gripes about like some of the mini games being a little too like aggressive, and especially like putting some like extra context to characters, like story moments like behind some of these mini games, so you have to do them to learn stuff. And also the not giving, fans were saying this too in the subreddit, like not giving characters character moments enough time to breathe, because it was just like go in some moments. Dude, the boss fights are freaking amazing in Rebirth. Like I don't think I got mad at any of the boss fights whatsoever.
That's good.
I think I properly enjoyed all of them. They know how to do boss fights.
Excellent.
And also, if you don't know what the frick to do, just use assess or scan for, classic fans, Final Fantasy IX fans like Sarge. Yeah, and then it'll just tell you what to do with this enemy. So, yeah. That's...
although, actually, in Final Fantasy IX, is there a scan ability?
Yeah. Yeah, it's how you learn...
there is, yeah.
The 4 items you can steal from a boss.
No. That's the exact thing I was mixing up. There is a scan, which is a white magic spell, which checks, like, target level HP and MP and stuff. Detect is the one which tells you the items you can steal.
Oh, my bad. My mistake.
I did the exact same mistake, which is why I had to Google it.
Just clairvoyance. The Elder Scrolls fans, now that I've alienated everyone, Sarge, what have you been doing?
I made a Borderlands 2 in 2024 video.
You did?
That went out the other day. Go watch it if you want to see me dance with Claptrap for a bit. And also,
fight a murder bot.
Yep. Also, I made jokes at the expense of the Borderlands movie, because I figured why not. But outside of that, and also the big Dark Souls video, which I don't know if I talked about in the last episode or not, that one is big, very good. You should all watch that. I've also played a couple of games on the Xbox, because Game Pass has Dead Island 2, which I tried out, and I don't think I'm going to finish it.
Oh man, you should have told me too, because we could co-op it. Jared and I tried it, and his internet was crapping out, so we like just gave up trying to get footage. So it's still probably installed on my computer. I just don't.
I am playing it on the Xbox rather than computer.
Ah, gosh dang it! All right, well, I guess it's solo for me.
Yeah, I've played a bit of it, and there's fun stuff like using car batteries to electrocute pools to get zombies shocked. But it's also like, I'm finding it a little repetitive, and I don't really care about any of the characters or story that much. For me, it is just, let's have some fun drop-kicking zombies. Which is all well and good. But while I'm enjoying it, I don't think it's a game I'm actually going to finish. A game I definitely am going to finish is Sea of Stars, which is a lovely little pixel art RPG I found on Game Pass.
Ooh.
Which,
I think I've heard about this one.
Is good. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's got a lot of your standard turn-based stuff, but it does a few extra fun things. Like there's basically reactions you need to give, so when you hit an enemy with an attack, you have to press a button and you get another attack in for free. And they've got that as a built-in thing. They've done something really interesting with the difficulty, whereas you can buy relics from merchants, and they basically have difficulty things you can turn on or off. So there's one which just makes prices better, there's another one which gives you extra health and means your health resets on every battle, so you're always at top health. There's other ones which make enemies stronger, there's ones which make you take more damage, there's just like a lot of interesting ones. But the fact you have to go out and go to the merchants and buy them is something I've not really seen before, where you literally purchase the difficulty settings with the in-game currency. Is quite interesting. The coolest part about it, though, is obviously the minigame. There's a game called Wheels, which is like this clockwork aesthetic fighty game where you spin like a cassette roulette. What are the things at casinos which people just, the machines that people lose all their money on? Spinning ones.
Slot machines?
Slot machines, yeah. It's basically like a slot machine, but you get to lock in certain things, and you've got to match up symbols to make your little heroes you've got on each side either level up or do damage. And it's very fun and addictive. And I've had a lot of fun with Wheels, which is like the main mini game. There's two mini games. There's also a fishing mini game, but Wheels is tons of fun. And I've already spent a few hours, I think, just playing matches of Wheels, because I love me a well-made mini game in an RPG.
Yeah, that's kind of why I think you should try Rebirth, but you know, to each their own.
I'll be honest. Like, I'm sure the mini games are good, but
there is too many. There's literally too many mini games in it.
It's not just too many, but it's also the changes to the story they're doing. Like, I've wrapped my head around Final Fantasy VII's story, which is already pretty weird and convoluted because it is a Final Fantasy story.
Oh yes.
The fact they're then making this already weird and slightly confusing story and just
more
fracturing
weird.
It.
They're Kingdom Heartsing it.
Yeah, like I don't play Kingdom Hearts for like the same sort of reason. Like I'm not gonna get into that. Yeah. I don't want to wrap my head around it.
It actually hurts me to say that too. Like I really didn't want that to happen, but that's kind of what they're doing. Like they do have for the sleuthers out there, they do have Stamp, which is a dog mascot that is used to represent the different timelines, and you
see.
see stamp like immediately when you're in a new timeline, which kind of helps with the continuity, but at the same time there's like 4, so like and you don't know like how much mental capacity you want to commit to these different timelines, especially if everybody's dead in it. Like
I am so over multiverse and different
Me
timelines
too,
right
dude.
now.
Me
like,
too.
Huge fatigue on it.
Yeah.
I think Marvel's largely to blame, I've got to be honest there.
Oh, for sure.
Like, they went heavy with it.
For sure.
And you know what? Sea of Stars, they have a mention at the start about different timelines, and I was instantly like, oh, okay, I'm not going to worry about the story then. But it's not been brought up since.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with how things are actually going.
Yeah.
But yeah, multiple timelines, different realities, all of that stuff. They just lower the stakes so much, in my opinion. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Now, if it was, say, like a Nier Automata approach, or dare I say it, a Starfield approach, where you are following one path and then you end up on a new one, that's so much easier to digest.
Or, I mean, I know it's kind of a meme and stuff, but I feel bad even saying this at points, but I think Rick and Morty does a good job of doing different timelines of a whole multiverse thing fairly well.
Yeah. I mean,
But
that's fair.
It feels like it's become just a very popular and common thing to throw in, and most of the time it works negatively.
Yeah, true.
Boy, we ended this episode on a little negative downer about something we don't like.
Multiverses kind of suck, but sometimes they're done well.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's the positive note. Sometimes they're done well.
Yep. Watch the content on both our channels, please.
Yes.
Especially, hell, I'm just going to promote my channel big time. I've been making lots of different videos lately, and I've been trying to make funny videos and stuff, and I've put a lot of time into editing, and I'm quite proud of the direction my channel's heading in.
You're
check
writing,
it out if
you're
you've
writing
not seen me in a
jokes
while.
and being a silly boy?
Yep. I'm doing fancy editing stuff. I'm putting sound effects into videos.
I even laughed at some of them.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Even though I laugh at everything.
Yep.
But, man, also, the stuff I've been making, I know it's slow going, but, I mean, I use mental health as an excuse right now, but also burnout. And I am going to try to continue with the Starfield guides. So if that's not your thing, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if it is your thing, I would love if you check them out, boost them a little bit. So when Starfield does come back around in the algorithm, they're all there to get noticed by people who need them. That's my job. I'm a stand-up comedian. You don't like being shout? I'm sorry. Little James A. Caster there. Yeah. Thanks everybody for coming along with us and listening to PIPCAST 3000. This goes up every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific usually. Thank you for being here, and thank you to the supporters and patrons of our channels, including Wasteland Legends, Rose and Sven. I'm drawing this out way too long. Okay, bye!
Bye, everyone.